HPQ on screen right about now.
And HPQ is here just like that. She has appeared. How are you doing, sir? It's been a hot minute since we've hosted the Breakfast Flight show together. I felt like I kind of felt like that Delight and Lady B were taking over. They're quite happy to take over from you. So
That's right.
maybe you should go away a little bit more.
I could stay in my bed and sleep. Not a problem at all.
Well, welcome back, Sharky DJ. You were definitely missed. We did have a good time without you, but
I saw.
And there was no Breakfast Flight show last week. That's because it was my birthday. What was I doing organising a Breakfast Flight show on my birthday? I was at a spa. There's no way that I would have been doing the news. So hopefully we are back now, everybody. Good morning. Welcome back to your usual host, Sharky DJ and HPQ. What has been going on in the news? So much stuff has been going on. But first we have to talk about Sir James L. Jones and Frankie Beverly.
Did I say the name?
I don't even know if he's Sir. I'm calling him Sir because to me that's what he was.
Sir,
you know, he was a great
an English thing, isn't it? He's American, isn't he?
Yeah. But I'm calling Sir Great James L. Jones because he was absolutely fantastic. He had a voice that was just unrivaled. You know, very distinctive voice. He had a bit like Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman and James L. Jones, their voices are just second to none. And you know that he did the voice for Darth Vader for Star Wars. He was the voice of Darth Vader. And when he was younger, he had a stutter. Imagine, James L. Jones had a stutter that he managed.
The voice of Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Samuel here.
Now you mentioned Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, but they are great narrative voices. Samuel Jackson's funny. He's not a narrative. He's not a narrator, I should say.
Okay.
So if you want a narrator over films, okay, let's go there. Samuel Jackson's a great actor. Don't get me wrong. He's got a very distinctive voice. If that's what the grouping that you want to put him into, but as a narrator, no, those two are the giants. Those two are the giants. But Frankie Beverly and James L. Jones, you know, last week went to heaven. Unfortunately, and you know, I was listening to Fifth Avenue yesterday, and he was playing some Frankie Beverly tunes that you just forget how great the man was in terms of his music, his musical ability, the tunes that he brought out. I mean, he was like a rare groove supremo, wasn't he? Frankie Beverly, just kind of associate with rare groove almost.
You could say that style of music, yeah. Definitely, he's one of the greats from back in the days. I mean, he was well known. From way back in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, and came out with some fantastic tracks. I mean, he had these popular ones that Joy and Pain.
I was just about to say Joy and Pain, sunshine and rain before I let go.
The live one, and we used to sing the live version. That was really great.
He you know, there are some artists that you feel sad that they've passed because they're like heroes. And you know, funnily enough, I was listening to what's that controversial blogger, Candace Owens. She pops up on my page, and she was doing an article about Michael Jackson. And she was delving deep into Michael Jackson and all these paedophilia claims, and she did some research, and I didn't finish listening to it. But what she started researching and what she brought up was really interesting in terms of the witch hunt against Michael Jackson. Now, is it Jordan Chandler, Evan? Remember the first chap that put the lawsuit out against Michael Jackson? His father was heavily involved in that. And what actually happened very, very quickly, we're going to touch upon this. His father gave him a drug. His father was a dentist, gave his son a drug at the time when his son admitted that Michael Jackson had touched him. Wow. His father then contacted the worst kind of lawyer that he knew would bring Michael Jackson to ground, and there was a phone call that was recorded that he was saying he doesn't care about what his son thinks, he's going to do everything he can to make a load of money. So it's kind of changing how I think about Michael Jackson and all the stories into him being a paedophile, and whether they were strictly true or whether they twisted some untruths there. But that's another story to get into. It's far too early in the morning to be talking about conspiracy theories at this particular moment in time. Just want to mourn and say rest in peace to James L. Jones and Frankie Beverly. And after this, we'll come back with some proper news.
And now Tito Jackson.
Rest in peace, Tito. Tito, as Michael would say.
We grew up with these guys, man. We grew up, I'll tell you what, we grew up with these guys, especially the Jacksons. I mean, as always, on a Monday, we give you that lovely vibe.
Oh, thank you, SharkyDJ. And like I said, welcome back. We've been talking about James L. Jones, and we were talking about also Frankie Beverly, but somebody else who's been in the news, and we obviously spoke about Tito, so rest in peace, all of those lovely stars. Now, somebody who's also featured in the news, who hasn't died, but who has been in the news, front page news for the last couple of days, is Jay Blades. We have to discuss Jay Blades. Now, Jay Blades is a Wolverhamptoner, or he lives close to Wolverhampton. So the news has hit this neighbourhood very hard. I can tell you that. It's also hit the rest of us. Now, I remember when the news broke that he decided that he was taking a break from TV. He said it's his brother's death, or a death of a good friend, had contributed to his mental health well-being, and he's taken some time away from the TV. At the same time, a couple of months later, his marriage broke down. His wife put a post on Instagram saying that she had left him and she's heartbroken, but there was no news around the reasons why she left him. She just upped and left, and that was it. Marriage is over. He took a break from TV. Now he's come back onto our screens, and all of a sudden the news has broke out that he was charged, I think it was yesterday or the day before or over the weekend, he was charged with controlling and coercive behaviour. And now it's come out that he was allegedly, and I say allegedly, an abuser in the marriage. So this has kind of sent shockwaves everywhere. It sent BBC scrambling to now remove all of his programmes off the schedule. And I'm just kind of thinking, does the BBC know? Do they know when people are arrested and what they've been charged for? Do they just like, well, guilty until proven? You're not guilty until proven. So they just leave everybody on the show. Imagine if you go into a workplace and you tell your boss, I've been arrested for abuse, but it's all right, they haven't charged me yet. Do you think you're going to keep your job?
Possibly, because obviously until you're found guilty, they can't really do anything about it.
But the fact that you've been arrested is bringing what's the word for it now? You're kind of bringing shame onto the company. Into this. Oh God, I can't remember the words now. It's too early for me.
Dispute, yes.
Yeah, and
disrepute.
Disrepute. That's it. So on that basis, they could easily just let you go for the mere fact that you've been arrested for a crime. And you've brought the company into disrepute, so you're gone. But it seems like when you're on TV, you're not guilty until it's properly proven and it's in the newspapers, right? It could be proven still, but until it hits the newspapers, that's when you're there until. Like, I always talk about Hugh Edwards. I just cannot believe about Hugh Edwards. The guy was arrested for grooming young people, and the BBC still kept him on the payroll. The BBC still gave him a pay rise, and they're trying to get the money back from him. Would you give back £200,000 in pay rise? No, I wouldn't. If you gave it to me freely, it's not coming back. So they're going to have a hard time getting that back from him. Plus, the amount of legal fees that Hugh has to be paying. He's not giving any money back. But yes, Jay Blades has been charged, and let's see what's going to become of this. Now, what's happened is that BBC has quite rightly responded. They've pulled all of his shows off the BBC, including any that he is due to be. He was supposed to be on our screens yesterday. They pulled that show. They're pulling any other shows that he may be appearing on. So yeah, it's all gone. So viewers were expecting on Friday to tune into an evening for an episode of another crafting show. And I love that show, The Repair Shop. I'm a keen crafter, so for me it's just like the best show on TV. And he's not going to appear in that, and he's not going to appear in next week's episode of The Repair Shop.
Yeah, it's amazing how when some of these things happen to some of these stars, depending on what colour you are, how quickly you come off the TV. because, like you said, look what happened to what's his name?
Jermaine Jenas.
Jermaine Jenas. As soon as he was, accused, boom, off of he went. Same thing with Jay Blaze, off they go. But Hugh, he lasted quite a long time while they made excuses.
Jimmy Savile lasted years. Rolf Harris lasted years.
Years, many of them.
Gary Glitter lasted years. It really, it's beggars belief. But you do have to think about whether it's attributed to the colour of your skin, because I find that a lot of these stars are not being pulled. Look at Strictly Come Dancing. Look at what's his name? Grazio, that was abusing and bullying his co-contestants, and he's still been allowed to dance.
And the thing about it is, some people will say, you pull in the race card. I don't like that term, the race card. If you're a racist, you're racist. If you're doing wrong and you can see it blatantly, it's nothing about pulling a race card. It's racism, simple. And just like when someone says you got a chip on your shoulder, don't like all that. Yeah, if you're doing something wrong, you're doing something wrong, and you can see the difference between colours when something goes wrong. I'm not saying that he shouldn't be pulled, but if he's going to be pulled, everybody should be pulled the same way. Listen,
I've got a huge issue with Prince Andrew. I've got a huge issue with some of my tax money going to pay for this man. It's a massive, which is why I don't care it's on record. I don't watch mainstream TV anyway. So I don't pay my license because I don't watch mainstream TV. And I point blank refuse to pay my BBC license because I don't believe in what the BBC's doing, especially with Hugh Edwards, Jimmy Savile, all of these stars, and even Strictly Come Dancing. We're paying a load of money for the BBC to do what they want. And it's not happening, not on my watch. I don't watch Strictly. I haven't watched Strictly in years. I haven't watched it in years. So it's not for me. It's definitively not for me. I'm sorry. Not paying it, not on my watch.
So Edward's saying, the MJ says, David says that Edward's being sentenced today. Lady B says, I don't think we should call them stars. They are horrible human beings. Yeah, they are horrible human beings, but they are stars because we know them. So, whether they are horrible stars, they are people that are known in our society. MJ says, this thing with TV personalities makes them, then breaks them. Poor Jay, the man been taken out for replacement on the BBC. They will only look to replace with a cheaper person. And the thing about it,
did someone say poor Jay?
Yeah.
Did they say poor Jay?
Yeah, David J said that. Yeah.
Poor Jay. David J. Poor Jay. Are we really saying poor Jay? Come on, David J. Come on.
Abuse is abuse, and if the person is right, and what has happened with this young lady is true, then he deserves everything he gets. But like you said, there's always two sides to a story, and then there's the truth in the middle. And we need to follow the story and find out exactly what went on. Because
absolutely. But I think by saying he's been charged, by the way. This is not alleged behaviour. He has been charged with coercive and controlling behaviour, which means he's either admitted to it or there's overwhelming evidence that he is doing that. We're not talking about the abuse.
Go through the court case.
Yeah, but he's been charged, all right, at the end of the day. So there must be some evidence that he's doing something.
Yeah, and I agree, but
he's not going to get charged on plain air.
Somebody go through, because you could be charged with something, doesn't mean that you're guilty. Yeah, just because you're charged with something, it doesn't mean that you're guilty. It just means that there's evidence, but it has to go through a proper court case, go through the system, and come out at the end and see what happens. Because there might be other things that come out in the court case that we don't know about. So until that happens, I'm not saying that he's not guilty. I'm not saying he didn't do it, but let's see what happens when it comes out. I'm not going to take it on the first whim of what.
Absolutely, but I think it's really difficult not to get
as David J said.
Well,
at first.
Absolutely, but when we have these news stories that break and these people get arrested and charged, the first thing we think is, well, if they've done it, if they've been charged, all these stars that come out and do stuff, are we just to sit back and say, oh no, and until we could say the same as Hugh Edwards then. So we shouldn't be vilifying Hugh Edwards because he was charged, but we don't know if he's done it. Okay, we didn't know, which is the same stance that the BBC took with Hugh Edwards. He was charged, but they didn't know. He was arrested, and he was accused of these allegations, but the BBC didn't do anything until such time he was definitively charged. And then it's gone to court. So I don't know. There are some things.
Earlier, Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Was accused, and everybody thought he was a paedophile. Now it's coming out, and evidence is coming out that it's a possibility that he was being bribed, blackmailed.
Yeah, but I think what happened with Michael Jackson is that he didn't help himself by what he was doing, because he did have kids in his bed that, hold on one second, he did have children in his bed, right? That was inappropriate. He had inappropriate behaviours that he was doing that contributed to this whole plethora of lies that went against him. So there's things that he was doing that perpetuated some of these facts that made a lot of people believe it. So I understand that, but at the end of the day, right, I can't turn around and feel sorry for someone if they've been charged with something. I'm not going to turn around and definitively accuse them, but I'm not going to feel sorry for them. It's like having a paedophile. If they've been accused of raping a young child, you're not going to say, oh, poor him, let's wait and see what happens, right? It doesn't always go like that. Unfortunately, no poor there. I'm not going to accuse you, but I'm going to bring it to the news. But until such time, I don't know if I'm going to say poor Jay. As a woman, no.
HPQ.
My mouse went there for a second to take me off mute. Sorry about that. I've just been reading what's going on in the chat room here. MBE David J says, does that mean his MBE will be taken? We don't know. Lady B says, abuse is always a tribe, giving them the side-eye one. I would err on the side of caution. Yeah, and I get what you say about until such time the facts are there that you don't kind of accuse someone of something. But when I think about Jermaine Jenis, right, what happened with Jermaine Jenis was that he was told that he was just texting other women and that his job was taken away. He was sacked immediately. And I thought, well, he's just texting. Why would that be such a big deal? Why would that be such a big deal for the man to have his job taken away and everything? Well, when you actually dig deeper into the story, he was pestering a junior makeup artist for sex. She told him that she had a boyfriend, and he replied, just come to my dressing room early and I'll perform a sex act on you. That's not cheating. I would have gone, yay! No, I'm joking. He said, I will perform a sex act on you.
Hold on. What did you say?
Someone's offering it for free. It's not often that men offer women, right, these things for free. Normally it's men asking for women, to do whatever, but when a man's offering it to you, don't give it up, women. No, I'm joking. No, seriously. But he's been accused of pestering female colleagues consistently. All right, he really has been. He's been met with lots of allegations. He bombarded a woman working at the World Cup 2 years ago, saying, "You want my boy now?" Before sending her a picture of his manhood, despite her making it clear she was not interested. Okay, now, and there's another one in 2017. He said, any chance of a snog to fill some time? So it's been consistent behaviour by Jermaine, flirting with women, offering unsolicited sex, oral sex.
Yeah, there's consistent behaviour.
I shouldn't laugh.
I do agree with what you're saying about, but I just like to err on the side of caution first and just let it go through the proper system, and then I could talk about something, because until everything comes out, that's all it is. Yes, there is no smoke without fire, and I've always said that, and I do have my personal feelings on that, which you do know about. But when you're sort of out in public, and it has to go through the system. And then once it comes out at the end, whether the person's guilty or not, then we go on that. I mean, but we can go, on loads of cases. I mean, there are cases where we've seen evidence of acts being taken place, like Mason Greenwood, the footballer, and he has been found innocent, and he's a free man. However, the videos that we have seen shows something different. So, and things like that happen, but it goes through the case, and people make up their own minds. And I'm not saying that he's not guilty, because obviously, like you say, there's no smoke without fire.
Absolutely. And I remember the case quite a number of years ago. It was very controversial, and it just had me. And it was a guy, it was a footballer, and he had got this drunk girl back to a hotel and gang raped her. And the girl went to the police. It was years ago. I cannot remember the guy's name. He couldn't get back into football for ages. He's in some little league team now at the moment. He was released from prison a few years ago now. Mm-hmm. But that whole trial went to court, and they tried to make out that the girl was just some kind of drunken woman that went out every weekend and got over her head. But I read up on the story and read all of the facts, all the case trials and everything. And it was really interesting because what actually happened, they were on a night out in a town. And this woman was clearly drunk because there was CCTV footage, and she was talking to him. He then took her back to the hotel. I mean, the woman fell over on the floor, left her bag somewhere. She was inebriated. She could not make a decision by herself. So he took her back to the hotel. He rang his friend to say, I've got this girl here, come along. His friend came and didn't go through the doors of the third person, that is. Didn't go through the normal doors of the hotel. They went round the back. And the hotel clerk was so concerned about this drunk girl coming in with two guys that she knocked on the door to check that they were okay. They said that she was. They then had group sex with this girl. When she awoke from a drunken stupor, she realised she was naked, didn't have her bag or her phone, and fled, and then started to put the pieces together. And this guy was trying to deny that he raped her and so forth. But if you are bringing back a woman who is so inebriated that she can't even remember her name, then I don't think she's good enough to make a decision. And you need to take the young lady home instead of taking advantage of her. That clearly is rape. I don't give a damn what spin you want to put upon it. I nearly said a Lady B word there. I don't care what you want, what spin you want to put upon it, but doesn't work for me. No means no, gentlemen. No. That's all I want to say on that one.
We know that. We know that. No is no. And I agree with that. No is no.
Yeah. Definitely means no. So, Jermaine Jenas, unfortunately, my brother from another mother, I can't side with you, mate. Can't side with you. You've been bringing it on to all these women and literally sending photos and pestering them as well. It's not even just like one text, it's a number of texts until he tries to get his own way, and using his stardom, his platform that he's on, to ensure that he gets through. That's naughty. I'm sorry. That's naughty.
Who makes you happy?
SharkyDJ, of course. Okay. And I've got to thank you. I don't know, for those that are on my Facebook, and it was my birthday last week, and Sharky put together this beautiful message. And then he had my father in it saying happy birthday. He went all the way to Jamaica. Well, he went all the way to my father's house in Jamaica just so he could capture that message, which was lovely. And then he had this video, and it featured, me and him, friends, and Carnival, and my cats. That was it, And the funny thing is that I was showing it to my son, and my son looked at me. He goes, "You can't cuss him again, Mum. That's a pass if I ever seen one. You can't cuss him at all. We got your cats in and everything." And I was like, I know. Pure love for Sharky now. No cussing until January the 1st, 2025. That's it. That's your pass for that video.
I'm going to watch that one. You said it on screen. No, and it's so funny. Me, I got till January, You
got till January 2025. And in saying that... I tell you what, when I was at the spa, I forgot to mention this, and I'm sitting there I went by myself, which I absolutely loved. I just needed some downtime. And shh. And I'm sitting there having dinner, and there's this woman and this gentleman sitting next to me, husband and wife team. And this woman, I kid you not, that there's no grounds for a man cheating or anything, but I felt like saying to him, listen, mate, if you ever want to find somebody else, go ahead, because this woman is killing you. She was berating him for everything. He could not do anything right, and he was just like, I felt like he was just bashed up verbally, because he was just he just sat there, yes, okay, no problem. We haven't done this, and you haven't done that, and we need to do this, and we need to do... And she just moaned for the entire meal. And I looked, at one point we exchanged looks, like my look was, I really feel for you, I'm so sorry, and left it as that. I just thought,
man, I
wow,
wish I was there to hear that, man. I'd have been staring at him, smiling, brethren.
Terrible. Come over here and join our table. We're having fun over here, you know. Dash her in the pool. But the other thing is that they had this lovely, I went to the Malvern, they had this lovely outdoor, bubbly, hot pool. It's like a hot tub outside. It's brilliant. Man. I was out there till like 11 o'clock at night. They had to kick me out. But I was in there on the Monday morning having a little swim, chatting to people in there as you do. And I was chatting to this gentleman that says he comes to the gym every day. And he said, do you want to try that bit over there? It has this whirlpool bit that feels like you're floating up. He said, just lie on that and you kind of spread your arms out. And I'm like, yeah, this is great. So we're having this conversation for all 10 minutes and I'm chatting away thinking, just leave me alone. I want to have this spa. And as I look down in the water, swimming costume is like down here, one breast, one nipples out showing.
Didn't tell me about that one.
I forgot, I just realised now. And I'm sitting there because the force of the spa jets were just going. I didn't realise I'm there holding onto the bar, just like chatting away. Just chatting away with one breast out. I had to laugh. I had to duck under the water. And I was like, listen, I'm going to go back inside now. I was thinking to myself, is that why you were talking to me for so long, keeping me here, chatting away? But yeah, that was too funny. But one of the other things I kind of want to bring up in the news that have been bugging me for a long time now, has anyone noticed these newfangled things at these supermarkets and restaurants and anywhere where you pay a bill? There's been a complete difference. Now, first of all, it's this charity thing, right? You got to reject the charity, right? You go to pay for something. Do you want to round up or do you want to give to charity? And you got to reject it. I've got no problems in doing that. But I think it's such a con that they're forcing it upon us, trying to make us feel bad. Oh, we should really round up our change and give it to the charity. Why is it being enforced on us? I don't like that at all. I don't want to go to a till and see you've got to this almost like being forced to give to charity, and it's happening at every shop, every place where you shop. I think it is. Even when online, do you want to give up your change to charity? Banks ask you to round up your change.
They do it on the on the airplane. They said, if you've got any spare change, they've been doing it for quite a while. It goes to the charities, and then they show you these videos of kids starving in Africa.
But I don't want to be forced to say reject or accept at the end of every purchase. Why has it been put on us to say yes or no? And I think that there are some shopkeepers that have had lots of moans from customers, because there was one time I was in a shop and the transaction was going through and he was just pressing it for me, reject, because he's probably had it so many times. And the other thing is this optional service charge. I'm not the greatest tipper. I will only tip if you've given me a good service. If it's part of your job, why am I tipping you? That's how I think. I go to my job every day. I don't see my boss saying, here you go, here's a tenner for attending that meeting and giving us good notes. I get paid for the job I do. So why are we giving them money on top? It's not my fault that these are the wages set and now we've got to pay for extra. So if someone has gone the extra mile and done a really good service, I will give you money till kingdom come, definitely. But I don't want to sit there and be coerced into saying that this is a normal thing and that the expectation of tipping should be all round, all year, all the time, especially for a meal that costs £79 and you want to charge it. 8% optional service charge that's on the bill. Well, if it's optional, don't put it on there. Tell me, and then I'll decide whether I want to add it onto the bill. So I was out the other day. I said, "Could you take that off? Could you please take it off?" Look them in the eye, quite squarely. The food has been delivered already, so there's no problem. No spitting in my food. So yeah, take it off. I'm not mean.
What I don't like as well, and what they're doing as well, is the credit card. Not credit card. When you go to pay the machine, the credit card machine or your debit machine, the tap. And normally before on some of them now, it's like, do you want to donate to charity X amount, 50p or whatever, and you got to reject that as well. And obviously, it's the way it's designed is that some people just press yes, 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 so you don't even know. And if you're not watching what you're paying, you'll press the yes and donate as well.
It's a big con.
It is a big con. And where they're doing that as well, I went to, not this time, went to Jamaica in June in, what's that place called? Right on the corner, Tipping the Grill. What's that bar? The place where everyone dives off.
Ritz Cafe.
Ritz Cafe. And, the bill came up, I think it was about $20,000, which is about just over £100. And then they added the extra to it as well, which in Jamaica, those tips go to the management, and they use the waitress. I asked them, they get like 1%. So I said, could you take it off? It's like, well, you can't take it off. And I thought, you know what, I'm not going to get into an argument, but they really use it as part of the bill, you know, which is.
Does it say optional on there?
Doesn't say optional. Nope. It's just ridiculous. So everybody pays this bill, you know, and the tips on top of it, and then they use the tips to pay the staff. So it's just ridiculous. I mean, I was talking to the staff, and I was saying, do you get any tips? They say, we don't get anything. The manager, they take everything, because obviously when you see the size of the tip, you know, you just won't tip. So now, if you do tip the staff extra, it's an extra tip on top of a tip. It's just ridiculous. Really.
Oh, I'd refuse to pay it. That's not going through. That's not going through. I'd rather give the tips to the staff directly. Yeah. If that's the case, I will tip the staff directly.
They were like,
this management thing.
Get tips.
No, because they use it as the salaries to pay them, and they reap the benefits.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And all this charity drive stuff that they're doing, you know that they get relief on their taxes if they give to charity. So the more money that they give to charity, the more relief that they can get from their tax burden. So it's not them doing anything in particular. It's like the plastic bag thing. We're saving the world. We're charging you for plastic bags. Does that mean that people stop buying plastic bags? No. And it was supposed to go to good causes. We don't know what they're doing with the money from plastic bags. That's not transparent. It's not clear. Now it's 20p a bag, pound. It's going up. Soon it's going to be, some of them are £2, you know? Yeah. And if it's supposed to be a paper bag, they're not supposed to charge. And you find some shops are charging for paper bags and not supposed to charge for them. Yeah. You were never supposed to charge for paper bags.
And I never understood that. Why, you know, if you're going to pay for a bag, pay for the plastic. But the paper ones, I couldn't understand when they charge.
No, Primark doesn't charge. Primark doesn't charge for paper bags.
I'm glad you told me that, because I can argue with them now. Say, it's a paper bag, you're not supposed to be charging.
No.
Oh,
no,
right.
They are not whatsoever. And they are, which is very, 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 very naughty. Very naughty, but I don't like it at all. But
8:53.
It is.
Let's play a track. Was you going to say something?
I was going to touch upon one thing before, because we're going to go into an ad break soon after at 9 o'clock. And I really wanted to mention this because it's been bugging me very quickly. And we can come back and discuss it, I think, after you've played some music and after the break at the top of the hour. But one of the stories that broke through earlier this year was, where's Kate? Remember? We was like, where is Kate? And then she came out and said she's got cancer and that she's going to be seeking treatment and for everyone to leave her alone, which everybody did, right? Everybody left Kate alone. And the newspapers always make a big deal out of Prince Harry and Meghan. They're always holding hands. They're always kissing and touching. And Prince William and Kate notoriously do not hold hands. They are not touchy-feely with each other whatsoever. They certainly do not kiss in public. Now, Kate's got this video, which is an update on her journey. This lovely, flowery, airy, fairy, sepia video that came out with her walking through some greenery with her kids. Her and William holding hands. Her and William sharing a kiss. Kate's hair is all glossy, long. In fact, her hair's grown miraculously. She's the only one of these cancer victims that I know whose hair has grown through treatment. So we don't know what kind of cancer she's got, because that's not out there. I don't know why it's been hidden. We just know she's got cancer. She's going through chemotherapy and she's not in the public life. Charles has got cancer. We know exactly what cancer it is. He's still in the public domain and he's still going out and doing his day-to-day. But hey, Kate, no. And she's got glossy hair and looks the epitome of health. Now, I could be completely wrong. I'm not bashing anybody that's going through this. But I've been reading some of the articles on the media, and I don't like what's being portrayed there, because she's never been portrayed in that light, not her and William. And it almost feels like they're going against Harry and Meghan. We can be touchy-feely. We can look like we're in love. And here's the pics to show. Now, William looks uncomfortable in some of them where he's having to hold hands or kiss Kate. He looks extremely uncomfortable at it. Maybe he's not used to these big displays of affection. But yeah, I'd like to hear other people's views on it. The Happy Holidays video with glossy, long chemotherapy hair. I don't know.
Dear.
I don't know. Let's go to a track.
Expensive wig. Who knows?
I don't know, mate. I don't know. All I want to know, I want to go to the same specialist that she goes to whenever that hits, because that's the epitome of health there. Could be wrong though, and it's not fair for anyone who's going through cancer, by the way. I'm not belittling it at all, please. I just want to make that statement very, very, very clear. But there's been conspiracy theories about William and Kate for a little while now, but let's see. Anybody else see the happy holiday videos?
Sharky? I haven't seen
it. Correct. Come on, Willow. Willow's joined me this morning. Now, yeah, that video. Even who was it that was commenting on Mixcloud here? Oh gosh, do you know something? I really hate Mixcloud at the moment. Whenever you want to go back to the screen, it removes it. You have to go back into it. Yeah.
She says, I've seen it. What a load of codswallops. Kate found out William was on his second child, cheated on her, and they split up. That's why you didn't see. And to this day, I still believe they're not together, trying to pull the wool over our eyes and take us for fools. Yes, I absolutely agree with you on that one, First Lady. Definitely.
I wholeheartedly agreed with that. I was listening to the conspiracy theories when it first came out about Where's Kate, and that William had a secret child, and then this murder mystery, this death of this aristocrat suddenly dying, and all of that has just been all undercover. You know, I mean, Princess Diana went, so if they could cover that up, they could cover up absolutely anything.
Yeah.
But the one thing you can't cover up, the one thing you can't cover up, unless you go to Turkey, is when you're losing your hair. And I'm sad to say, Harry is now losing his hair.
Harry,
he's got that middle bit like William now. He needs to shave it off now. It's going.
The monk look, isn't it? The monk look.
Oh, just the hair around the sides. I do feel sorry for men, you know, because, you know, and women. But yeah, that he's got a bald patch coming along.
Have I got a bald patch coming up?
Well, you can't see it. You see, the thing about it is that, you know, we could disguise ours, just shave it right down and have a completely bald head.
Or just get some makeup in it and just get some of that blusher stuff and put on your hair and make it look like
just mascara and go for it.
That's it, mascara, that's it.
Or have it tattooed on. Have hair tattooed on, you know. I've seen the colour. Listen, I've got a video, I'm going to show it tomorrow, of a man applying a wig. All right, fake locks, fake wigs, everything. You think it's just
everything
women?
Fake.
You think it's just women with weave? All these men that have got these lovely locks, right? And you know they're fake locks. They've got it weaved in, plaited in, and they're acting like they've got all these long dreads that they've been growing for years. No, it's been added, completely and utterly added. But yes, I strongly believe that about William and Kate, right? William cheated on Kate. He's got a baby out there somewhere. They've split up. She can't stand him. That's why they're not filmed together whatsoever. And then they've brought out this video as if to say, oh, they're in love. They're holding hands. Kate's over it. Look at her with their children. They're kissing. They never kiss. They never, ever kiss.
No, we're not stupid. But I haven't seen the video, but I will look for it and I will watch it. And we'll see.
Oh, it's everywhere.
I haven't seen it.
It's absolutely everywhere.
Is that it from William and Kate?
That's it for William and Kate.
Good. Can I talk about something?
Yes, you can.
I want to talk about Jamaica. So, anyway, you know when you go on holiday and everything, and you know coming back and everything. So I was I was in the airport getting my luggage, and as I was sort of looking for my suitcases because it's taken ages, I heard Sharky. I was like, oh my god, do you know what? Can't I go anywhere without somebody seeing me? Somebody that I know. On the plane, there was one person that I saw I knew, and there was this person here.
So just when I'm like coming through there, picking up my bag, I'm hearing like Sharky. I'm thinking, oh my god, and guess who it is? Melly Mel. Just come back from Jamaica, man.
Come from Jamaica.
Fresh up.
Did we see him over there at the airport?
Oh yes, man.
Wow, look at
we still got the sun in us, haven't we?
Yeah, man. Listen, Jamaica was beautiful, man. I tell you, beautiful.
I can't believe it, man.
There you go. I bucked up on Melly Mel. Would you believe that she was on the same plane as me the whole 8 hours? All right. And we were sitting at the back of the British Airways Parliament show. There's 2 seats at the back. So row 44. I know it very well because I always try to book it. So I was sitting on one side, the left-hand side, and Melly Mel was on 44 and 44 on the other side. And we flew, and it was only when, was saying, which plane, were you on that plane? She said, yeah, this is where I was on. I was like, wow. Just goes to show that people in the same arena. Big up Melly Mel. She looked fresh coming back from Jamaica. And I did try to, she did message me and tell me she was in Jamaica, and I didn't know she was going to be on the same plane. We were trying to meet up, but you know what it's like, getting around and the island. You try your best to see people, but it just doesn't happen.
Well, at least you caught up with her at the airport. You
Yes.
both look fresh-faced. You're both happy, sun-kissed, I should say.
Yeah.
Sun-kissed from the golden glows of Jamaica. So, well done, Melly Mel. And go ahead.
Go on. I was just going to say.
Silence is golden.
Play a nice little track before we go into the next piece of news.
I think so. I've got up until 9:30 today. So, yeah, let's play a track and come back.
I know you're dying to chat. Let's go.
I'm back. I'm just looking at the Mixcloud chat, and Miss JR says, Miss JR reminds me of Dallas. Remember Who Shot JR?
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Yeah, great series, great program. Gosh, that was the big thing of the century then. Who Shot JR? So, Miss JR, don't feel sorry for men HPQ. The amount of things we have to go through. Miss Sugar Sweets. Miss Sugar's asking for a rum, Sharky DJ. And she said, my son told me about fake locks. Yes, they're all over. All these, because I just wondered, where's all these men all of a sudden with all these locks? They just don't grow just like that. It takes years, My sister took years to grow hers, started from scratch, small. All of a sudden, I'm seeing these guys with these neat locks. No, they are not real ladies. And Miss Sugar Sweet also said, thought Mondays was Unruly Ladies Day. I like that, Unruly Ladies Day. You gave it back to Sharky. It was always Sharky's, Miss Sugar Sweet. I'm sorry, I wish we could take it over. But, maybe once a month we might do something, or on special occasions. Especially Black History Month is coming up. Make sure you log in. The ladies will be there. Myself, Delight, Lady B. And we can do a special hour show on one of those 2 days, so don't worry. And also, whilst we're talking about that, Random Wednesdays is coming back as a special, right? On the 16th of October. We've got a special Random Wednesday with Sharky and Miss L Vibes, and hopefully Martin Winter, if we can get him back, fingers crossed, is going to come on the 16th of October. So mark it in your diaries, because it's going to be a late night. It's going to be a good one. We haven't had it back for a long time. And we are going to be raising money for the charities that we specified: Ultra Education, Jaffes for You, and the TAP Project, all doing good stuff. And if you tuned into the virtual couch yesterday, it was a special show. I had Otis Thomas.
Good show, yeah.
Yeah, from the TAP Project, coming in to talk about what he does for the African diaspora. So please tune back in. If you go to HPQ, follow House Party Queen on YouTube, you'll see that show on there live. I'll put the details in the chat. Now, we were talking about Kate Middleton. Just before I say Kate Middleton, she's princess now, and she's some kind of royal or something. We were just talking about her and this video. I'm gonna put the video into HPQ's chat on Mixcloud. It's on YouTube for those who haven't seen the sepia fake hold hand in video. You can watch it there. Now, very quickly before I disappear, I want to talk about my film reviews, because I watch movies on Netflix and so forth. And first of all, I want to talk about Rebel Bridge. Whoever recommended Rebel Bridge to me, I don't know. I don't know who's watched it and what they think about it. For me, it was a load of cack. The only good thing about it was the gentleman who's got green eyes, and I'm not into eyes anyway. So his green eyes, they make them.
What movie was that?
Rebel Bridge. Rebel Bridge. It's the talk of the town on Facebook and everywhere, and everyone's got pictures of this man with green eyes. Green eyes don't do it for me. He looks like an alien, as far as I'm concerned. If I need to look at green eyes, I'm going to look at Debbie. I'm going to go ring up Debbie. Debbie, put yourself on camera. And have Debbie with her green eyes. And my friend's got green eyes as well. So if I need to look at that, that's what I'll do. But Rebel Bridge as a film, it had a semi-good story. Some of it was just rubbish in terms of some of the things that were going on. But to me, it's not in my top 10. Will never be in my top 10. And I'm not recommending it. If you want to watch it, go ahead. But it's not in one of my recommended films. But a film that I do recommend, that I've been going on about, I've been telling my son, I hope you watched it, is Polar. There's a film called Polar, as in polar bear, it's spelt. It's just called Polar. It's on Netflix. If you like a bit of action, some guns and some killing and some proper fighting, you've got to watch Polar. One of the best films I've watched for the year. Definitely.
That's the one that
alongside Anna.
Yesterday. I started watching that yesterday and fell asleep, didn't I?
You did. In fact, you were having a facial and fell asleep. But Polar, definitely recommended. Watch the film. Now, another good film that I watched is A Mother's Instinct. That was quite a good film, actually. About two women that live next door to each other. They become good friends. A son dies in a really bad accident. It was an accident. And watching how this woman comes and does some unscrupulous things to the family and takes over their lives. It's got an ending that you just think, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. So Mother's Instinct and Polar are two films that I'm recommending to watch this week. Please come back and say thank you, HPQ. Polar was good. Apart from the fact it's not got a very good ending. And that's all I can say. Hasn't got a very good ending, but it's a very, very good film nevertheless, and would recommend them to watch. Miss Sugar Sweet says, why are you calling Anna? There's a film called Anna, Miss Sugar Sweet. It's called Anna. It's about a Russian model, Russian woman turned spy turned contract killer, and she's wicked. I love when women kill and fight. I don't know what it is. There's some great ones. There's one called Kate. There's Anna. There's Peppermint. All those films where women are action fighters. I love that. I love when women can beat up and mash up a man.
What was the one I was watching the other day? The woman, and she was beating up all the men. There's a lot of films around the women
beating up men. It's wicked. Yeah.
You know, giving these women this false sense of power that they can beat on men and really beat them.
They can. Yeah. Let's have a fight, Sharky. Let's have a fight and see who wins.
They can beat the men with their mouth. That I can give the women. They definitely can beat their men with their mouth.
I reckon we should have a fight and see who wins.
Unless you're Jackie fit. Yeah. She's an exception. I won't go up against Jackie.
No, I'm definitely not going up against Jackie Fit, but she is fit though. She definitely is, and she knows her stuff. So got to give it to her there. Now, I was talking about Justin Timberlake just last week. I swear I was talking about Justin and talking about his drinking. He's been arrested again. Justin Timberlake. He's got a drink problem. He's definitively got a drink problem. A bit like Ben Affleck. They can't stop. But he was arrested just in June again and been arrested quite recently. He's pleaded guilty to a non-criminal traffic violation and appeared in court. He has to do some community services. But Justin is he's fallen into this drinking thing. He really is. But the reason why I mentioned Justin as well is that there is a film called Reptile that Justin Timberlake's in. I've been told about this film. I've been told I should watch it. So tonight I'm going to be watching Reptile. So I that's another film. Haven't recommended it yet because I haven't seen it, but I definitely want to watch it because I'm a big Justin Timberlake fan.
Okay.
So yeah, there's some films under your belts, people, that you kind of need to go and watch. So please get your Netflix out. Get Netflix in. Do you know, I was sitting there furiously writing to Flo. Now, in Jamaica, where we had Hurricane Beryl took out, obviously, the electricity lines and also the internet. My father's had no broadband, no internet for a couple of months now. Now, Flo are telling us that we need to pay the bills diligently every month. Even though there's no service, we have to pay the bills. And they're not going to rebate people until the service is back on. So once the service is back on, they're going to rebate you for every single bill that you've paid, even if it's 6 months. Now, we know what Flo's doing. Flo's obviously losing money, and they're getting people to pay the bills so that they can pay whatever bills they've got. In the meantime, they're telling us to pay for a service that's not there. Now, I wrote to them. They wrote back saying, well, you know, we're saying that you need to clear the debts going forward. And I said, he can't afford to buy data continuously and pay these bills, right? And when you're rebating back the money, are you going to add interest on all this money that's been sitting in your bank account also? What you going to do? Stop at an account where there's no service already? You can't stop a service where there's no service anyway. So what are they going to do? Send enforcers around for a service that's not there? Crazy. So now I'm just telling them, please point out in your terms and conditions where a service is not on, where we have to pay for the bills. And if that's in the terms and conditions, I'll pay the bills. If it isn't, take a running jump until the service is back on.
I'll tell you what, Flo has, they definitely need to. They're not up to the service, they're not providing the service they should. Where I was in St. Anna, this is on the other side of the country. I mean, you're down on the south, and my auntie's up on the north. So, and what kept happening with the flow since I was over there is that you'd get internet for all of about 2 minutes, say 5 to 10 minutes, then it will go for the rest of the day. And same thing as you're saying, they want you to pay the bill, and that's what my aunt is going through. So yeah, they need to sort themselves out.
Yeah, they do. Because they don't know when they're going to get to the rest of the island. So imagine they've got like 10,000 people not paying bills. That's going to hit their coffers. So for them, it's easy. Just pay your bill. In the meantime, JPS is rebating you immediately if the electricity's off. That just happens automatically. But Flow, oh no, not Flow, Flow.
No, because everybody will stop paying the money in it, and then that's it. They'll go broke.
There you go. Maybe that's what needs to happen for them to fix up. They need to fix up whatever they're doing. But listen, it's been a great morning. Thank you so much, guys. Welcome back, SharkyDJ. It's very good to have you back. We'll be back again tomorrow, bright and early, hopefully.
In the morning.
Bright and early in the morning. Thank you to all the listeners that have listened in this morning. I see some new people like C454. Good morning, Lady B, MBE, David J, Kelsa P. She agreed it was a disappointing watch. It really was. Not Rebel Bridge for me. I'll come back tomorrow with some more news and some videos as well. Some interesting videos. Guys, have a great morning. I'll see you tomorrow.